This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. Let's get into it. If you're new to the Discord room, please stop by. Link is in the description below. We are talking all day about trading, teaching, giving insight about the markets, paying attention to what's going on, and really trying to get people to see trading through a different lens, not the retail lens that always loses, or the stock twits or fin twit lens where they chase and buy and hold things endlessly and lose money and think that losing is part of the game only because their account balance never lies. Now, I always tell people this at some point in trading. Luck is not what you want because, like me, I got lucky. You might have gotten lucky, but you weren't good. And when you're not really a great trader, you end up blowing up. We all know the stories. We all probably know somebody, or it might be you at some point. It was me. Luckily, I did not let myself go completely to nothing, but this is why I love this channel, is to share the insight of trading for the last 20 years because I have seen literally everything and familiar with the markets. Again, do I always win? No, but my probabilities of those who follow me know we put out good stuff that keeps people coming back for more. Only started this a couple months ago and we'll continue to grow it. And again, it's free. It's all for education. Again, I tell people the best way that I do in trading, what makes me money, isn't sharing information to this message board. It's trading what I say I'm doing. Follow along, check it out. Again, check your own financial advisor. You have to know your own risk. I am not ever responsible because, again, you hit the enter button. If you hit enter, you are in control. You always want to be in control of your trading. That's all. This is basically what it is. You put it in other people's hands or your emotions' hands, and you're probably going to struggle. Let's get into seasonality a little bit. Oh, here's ending in 3. This is pretty funny, too. Bear markets. Reaching lows of October. Yep, lows are fully conditioned. Yeah, this is interesting. So this is another tendency chart of mine. I wasn't going to talk about it, but bear market, you know. Don't be surprised by the summer should produce a heavier downside move, reaching the lows by October. But if you're familiar with seasonality, that's actually a good draw on. What do you notice? Look at the end of June. Watch for entries toward the last few days of the month. Expect chop in the summer. The first half can be good, watching for profit taking near the middle of July. That is my thesis at the moment. Going into quarter, everybody's bearish. If you talk to anybody out there, and I mean literally, like stock tits, fin twit, anybody out there, everyone's bearish. Just like we were nervous, we called the shorts when people got bullish at the highs. Same thing with any particular sector or commodity. You're familiar now with the process if you've been following long enough, and if you're newer, you have to understand the seasonality to the market. There are fund flows. There are certain things that happened around the calendar. It's not just all random events. Every day is not different. There are tendencies. Think of like the weather. It usually rains more in the spring and it's hot in the summer and it's cold in the winter. No different in trading. There are seasonality and tendencies that have to do with fund flows in the market. On that note, now you know why we're looking at bullishness. Again, you got earnings coming up too. Most companies are going to under-promise, over-deliver. Market has been down and beaten. And keep in mind, look at the FinTwit sentiment. Everybody is bearish at the lows, due for a bear market rally. And we'll talk about why, because the TLT and oil, all this stuff, please stick around. I mean, it's not just an opinion. We're looking for evidence. I tell this to people all the time. We are evidence-based. We are evidence-based, okay? Bitcoin, we said, as long as you hold this area, let me zoom out so you can see why it matters. It's an old congestion zone. You held it. It's bullish. Now people are going to say, well, does it have to, is it always bullish? And it's like, no, of course not. If you take out the lows, it's bearish. But in the meantime, it could be like this, where it chops to go higher than lower, or it could be, I mean, what's a better, oh, here we go. Chop, chop, chop to go higher. We don't know that, but we know the levels matter. And that's what I'm trying to get people to really focus on, is the levels. Because again, the levels in the price action will tell you typically what's going to happen. Now, is there the one-off? Yes, of course. We're not sitting here saying this is how things always happen. We're playing probabilities. I'm trying to refer you to the things that are the highest probability, because I get a lot of people who come into the Discord room or DM me and they're throwing around their opinions, but it's like, please show me evidence of why you think the market's going lower, because I'll show you exactly why I think it's going higher if you stick around to the SPY and the VIX. Oil, and here's another thing. We talked about it getting up here. USO got to 85, 86. We'll talk about oil later in there. But we said anywhere between 108, 110. Well, look at that. We went all the way up to 113 and change. I'm not surprised my upside target was wrong because, again, it's the end of the month. People are piling in, probably looking for safety as the market they think is going lower, which is the irony is that if there is a recession coming, oil is not safe. I think we all can understand that. So at this point, what do you have? You have an outside reversal. Look at that thing. Long wick, open at the previous open, close, boom. And then closing below it, that's an outside reversal. Again, the day is not done, but we'll look at the USO and you'll see a little more. Let's get into some of the charts. Again, I hope you're having a great day. TLT, here's another thing. So we said interest rates need to bottom first for the market to get comfortable because higher interest rates, higher borrowing cost is a struggle for the economy, right? The economy can't afford higher rates. Neither can the federal government, by the way. But people are saying, whoa, inflation. We got it. However, if oil's peaking, inflation expectations are peaking near term. Now, again, this is a trade. We're not saying the TLT is going back to 160. Someone will come out here later when we trade this and it goes up to 120 or 125, we sell, and then they come back later and they go, well, what? I thought it was going higher. No. This is just a trade. This is what we do. We anticipate the market to trade the market. We're not sitting here like bumps on the log, just letting everything ride out against us. We talked about there need to be a bottom. Here's your capitulation area. Had the gap down, novice gap. Now you're making higher highs. I put out tweets that I said, get over the 20-day. You got the 50-day, 116 next in your target. I've ultimately said, I think the minimum upside is this 120 area. Channel high. What happens if it breaks out? Always possible. Always possible. But again, if you're getting down in the 108s to 110s like we recommended, you are fine with letting it play out. Because again, you have nailed the bottom. It's pretty hard to nail bottoms and tops. We're pretty good at it. Again, we layer in. We don't say, right there is the bottom. We have to use the evidence. And we also know and retest. Keep that in mind. The dollar, what have we said? Multiple times. Check out the monthly. It is going higher. However, let me preface this. The end of the month markup, I wouldn't be surprised if the dollar actually went choppy for a little bit. The market might like a softer dollar. The market might like to see the dollar chop. Keep that in the back of your mind. Now, again, I'm not telling you to short the dollar. What I'm trying to explain here is don't be surprised if it chops and goes nowhere because end of month markup, people were chasing it because clearly, if you bought this in April, literally the first day of April, it was near the low. And you had, like, people chase performance. That's why I try to explain to people. Like, that's what the institutions are doing. They want to look smart. They want to look smart to their, on their statements, basically. So when somebody who owns ABC fund, they go, oh, cool, we own the dollar. Great, dollar's had a great quarter. And they don't even really look at the cost basis. They just look at what they own. It's pretty silly. The VIX. Now, here we go. This is why we think the markets are going up. I said this is a capitulation potential. If you could not make higher highs, what do we say? Then near term, it's going back down to the low end of range. Well, what have we said also, too, if you watch these videos? Near the end of quarters, or months, these happen to be the quarterlies, notice what happened. We have hit the trend lows. Let me thicken this up for you, because I think there's a lot of people, again, you come into Discord and you ask these questions, you're like, I don't get it. Well, let me make it very clear. Let me try to make it clear as day. Here is the support trend that we've hit the end of quarters every time. Where are we now? Again, the risk might be worth the reward. Now, here's the next question, ultimately. If there's a bear market rally, could it get kind of wild? Like the VIX also go up with the market? That's possible too. Keep in mind, because that means what people are doing. They're hedging as the market's rising. People are, volatility goes both ways. I always tell people that. High volatility means big up and down. It doesn't always mean big down. It tends to lead to more big down, but at times it's both up and down. Keep that in mind. Let me sip on some coffee. QQQ. We were buying this morning in the 281s. People said, you're crazy. You're crazy. Okay. I know what's going on here. Let me open this up because actually, if you start thinking about it, this is why I started zooming out and looking at it. Like, damn, you got a lot of support here at 281, 280 area. All right, I'll take a stab. Started getting in there. Now we're at 283. What am I doing? Holding. I uncovered all my tech shorts. People are like, what? You've been short tech forever. You uncovered them all? Well, I didn't have much left because I didn't think there was much juice in the game. I don't think we're going lower. I mean, this action, what did we say yesterday? Is this not an anomaly? A big down red day? And look at the candle, like look at the volume. It's poop. It's nothing. It's just, think of it, this is what's going on. Market makers, you, me, a bunch of smart people go, you know what? We're not going to buy the market today at all. And let's just see what happens. And it just drops and it closes at the lows. And people just go, huh, okay. Well, there's no volume, there's no support, there's no really even resistance either to it. It just dropped. It's like a buyer strike. It's smart money sitting around going, all right, let's talk on our squawk boxes and let's text and email and let's manipulate the market however we feel best. No one's buying today. And then what do we talk about at the close? Nobody hit me up about this. Nobody said shit, which to me was hilarious. Look at these anomalies at the close. Look at this. Somebody had the stopping power right down there. Dropped again. Boom. Came back down. What happened? Made a higher low. Now what is this? I would consider this all basing out. Keep in mind where we've come from, where we're going. This is really hard for folks because, again, we confirm the bear market is on once you broke the 20-month. But then how can you go bullish in a bear market? Come on. It's a trading market. That's honestly, I wish you could change the name from bear market to trading market. Because that's all it is. Yes, the trajectory is down, but there's plenty of trading opportunities. Buy and hold is done. That's the difference in a bear market. But buy and hold doesn't really work. And now, again, you short the highs, I guess you can ride it all down. But it's going to be really painful and frustrating and choppy and sloppy potentially. And remember, shorting down, you have almost so much down. Like the market can only go to zero. Never forget that. It's not like the market can go down to a negative 100. It's not the futures market. And it probably won't. Remember, at a certain point, there's less downside the farther the market goes because more people buy and then you have to short cover. It's just shorting is a trade. It's never an investment. Keep that in mind. Now, again, it can be a multi-leg trade, but again, I don't ever recommend shorting the high and just holding out because if it's not a bear market, you are screwed. And there's been a lot of fake bear markets that showed up in the last 10 years. That's for darn sure. All right, so yes, we think it's going lower long term, but it doesn't mean it can't bounce back to 320, 300. The risk to me is worth the reward. We have shorted pops continuously. The best pop for me personally was, I think a lot of you guys and gals know, was up to here in the 370. We got this next day on the retest or the next couple days, 369. And remember, again, when the market gives you multiple levels to get in and get out, great. Well, people are like, well, oh, why is the market bottom? Here, I guess you can see it on the cues. What do we talked about at lows? Exhaustion, gaps, fear, end of the world. One gap, I guess you go 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gaps, 4 gaps. Usually it's 3 gap and trap. This is 4 gaps. Now, again, I would consider these 3 the primary gaps. You never saw that previously. Keep that in mind. You never saw that kind of wipeout, which is interesting because the VIX didn't confirm it until I started looking back at it. And I'm like, huh, interesting. However, interesting nonetheless. What do you think now at this point? Well, gotta be careful of a rally because now again, here's an actual real head and shoulders bottom that I might get around. Like a lot of people called these earlier. Going into July, what if we just rally back up to 315? What if we get to the channel highs at 330? I don't know, but we've come down a long way, have we not? 405, 270. Do the math. That is a big down. That's a big down. Even in, and this is what's crazy, I show people this, and nobody's going to say it in the Discord room. Nobody's going to talk about it because they're scared to, they just don't really know their history. But check this out, guys and gals. Look, even during the .com bubble, what happened? You had a capitulation in March. You had a choppy June, and you rally back just a little bit, and then boom. That's, again, everything is aligning up for a summer pop, chop, whatever. It's probably more chop, and the pop is in July because of the seasonality. And that's what we're saying. Like, you'll know when the market capitulates. You'll know when it's time to buy uranium. You'll know when it's time to buy gold. Right now, it's just not. Watching IWM today, I really like it down here. I didn't personally buy it because I've got other trades, but let me paint the picture for you. Let me Bob Ross this for you. I was like, man, this has got to hold this 170 range. It's also, if you look at it, it filled the gap from 623. Here's the 8-day and the 10-day. They're finally turning up. Notice how at bottom sometimes you get like these longer wicks below it. Again, none of this is just me guessing. This is all repeating patterns, tons of evidence of how things play out. Like long wicks, again, because the IWM is pretty volatile. It's not the S&P 500. It's the IWM. It's the died, by whatever they, a million names for the IWM that are instill fear into the average trader because they don't really understand it. But it is volatile. It's small caps. Small caps are volatile. Small market cap, small liquidity, zing zing all over the place. Looks good. Let's get into gold, because even today when Goldman Sachs upgraded gold to whatever 2,500, check the article out, hilarious. It's not going anywhere, and people endlessly are like, you're gonna miss the boat on gold and silver, uranium, the miners. I'm like, I've been hearing that since March, April, where you're like, ooh, you gotta get out on the next pop. Why? Well, the seasonality of the second quarter sucks. Keep that in mind. And then also, what are we thinking about? If there's a premium based on the war in Ukraine, it's unwinding right now. And then what happens if the market continues its next leg lower later this summer? This shit ain't going higher. It's just not. The best time to buy gold is the capitulation. I mean, here you go, was the nice COVID, like, bleh, zing, 2008. Bleh, zing. We're just in this cup and handle. And again, the handle is not going to be your friend. It's going to be very frustrating. And so, again, I tell this, we'll get to the silver folks, and some people are like, you do this every video. And it's like, I literally get this question every day, though. How do you not like gold and silver? Now again, physical, buy that. I love it down here. Buying silver at these prices, physical, if you can get the premiums low enough, love it. When's the best time to buy silver? Zip, bam. Zip, bam. You could be in purgatory endlessly. Endlessly. Will we not agree it's a bear market? For the market? Yeah. Is the bear market over? No. Is it due to bounce? Now, this is one of the questions I get. I'm like, probably. But is there better places to play the bounce? I would argue infinitely yes. Oh, but silver is going to rocket. No, it's not. GDX. Again, some people are like, oh, I'm going to buy calls. I'm going to buy the J-Node calls. I'm like, man, you got to be... when's the best time to... Oh, do you want me to do it again? Zing pow. Zing pow. Do you see this repeating pattern? It's just let it play out. Now, people would say, well, you've been trading gold forever and it didn't. Times are different now. Is this not a bear market? Please do not compare the past to now. There's nothing like this in the last 10 years. You have to use the past, the previous wipeouts, previous blowouts, previous shitty action. We haven't seen that in years. Just saying. Now that we know that, when you zoom out, look at the daily, what does it look like? God, it's just a messy chart. It looks like a big, choppy, sloppy mess that's probably going to backfill somewhere in the mid-20s. That's what I've said a billion times. GDXJ, oh, let me buy the J-Nug calls. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Buy leaps. No, please, just don't. Wait. Just wait. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to look out for you. Wait for the kapow. We haven't seen it. Anyway. And so what's now? What now? Just leave it alone. It's so hard for people just to see low prices to think something's a discount, because I'll show you things at lows that stay at discounts. And I mean, imagine you've seen them yourself. You don't have to run this by. It's like looking at the uranium traders. This is what separates the men from the boys, the guys that can hold forever. And it's like, no. Why would you hold forever something that's going nowhere? Like we told you at AG, we literally said, watch this range up at 1450. Failed, boom. Now what? Oh, let's buy it. Everyone's like, buy it. You got to buy it at 9. You got to buy it at 10. Dude, you got to buy it at 8. No, I didn't do it. And I honestly think that as a win. I think of it as a huge win, because I would be literally pulling my teeth out, pulling my ears off, slapping myself in the face for weeks going, why can't I make any money? Oh, it popped $1. Woo. Great. AEM. Again, I mean, let's just roll through these because they're all the same. Love them. We talked about it. They had amazing earnings. Where was it? I think it was right here. Maybe right here. I don't know. Oh, actually, no. Sorry. Their last earnings was in April. Right here. This long wick day, and was like, that's not bullish. And then he came back, made a lower high. Kapow. Now what? Oh, you've got to buy it down here. No, I'm not. Stop asking. Stop nagging. Stop looking for the one-off move. Again, we're trying to play the probabilities. We're not trying to predict the one-off move because, again, the one-off move is one-off. It's not logical. Again, if you want to speculate on that kind of crap, you're going to lose more often than not. Like, it's almost like, here's your free money. Here's your, you might could win it, but can lose it all. I mean, it's like I'll take the free money. It's like Livermore would say. He's saying the same thing. He's like, I'd rather take an easy, low risk trade and make money than speculate on things that were huge winners but huge risk. I mean, again, you run the iterations of your account balance based on those situations, and all day, the lower risk, decent reward trades that are very predictable. Let's listen, not very predictable, because nothing's very, very predictable. That are more predictable are way easier and lucrative than the one-off move that you don't know. Again, I like this stock under 5, but if it's not holding up, guess who's not buying it? This guy. He's got 2 thumbs and he's pointing at himself. No way. No freaking way. Now, again, if it pops, someone's going to go, oh, you missed the bottom. You missed the bottom, Dan. No, whatever. Okay. Pass. Pan American Silver. Same thing. You missed the bottom. Okay. Whatever you say, boss. Let's get into some material names. That I do like these. I genuinely do. I think X down here at 18, it's just a no-brainer. We bought it down here in the fall. Or not the fall. This, I guess it was technically the winter. Started buying it down here. Look at that. Zing! Up. And we told you to get out at 38. No one listened. Now it's back at 18. No one's like, oh, I'll take a stab. Actually, a few people are. And again, it's not... I think it's just low risk. It's literally that simple. Here's the easy, stupid trade. You buy it at 18, 19, you set your stop at 18. The level, like literally, don't let it get below the previous lows. If it holds, easy up trade. Now, how high it goes, this is going to be the hard part because, again, it's a bear market. It might rally, I don't know, 20%, which if you do 18 up to 22, somewhere 23, I mean, maybe 25%. Not a bad trade. Nucor, ex-dividend date today. Uh-oh, nice long wick. Nice retest of a higher low? Question mark? I think so. Got pretty nervous this morning, as I should be. I mean, again, I'd like to see a stock I bought go from 103. Honestly, I didn't buy it 103. You guys know that. Bought it somewhere down here around 105 to 104, 108. I think my cost basis is somewhere around like 106s. I don't like to see this, but I also don't get scared out. You know, again, I took some money and some other things and moved around. Whatever. The stop is now the same. It's like starting over. The trade just started over, but I'm not really down. I'm just basically even. This is what you call round tripping. And unfortunately, as we've talked about and we've said a bazillion times, it's the bottoms. The bottoms, not that easy. Now, again, you never know how much higher the next low is going to be. But do not ever chase. That's why I tell them, like, you can't chase. Because chasing does what? You buy it up here. Now when it gets back to 104, you're going, ah, shit. I mean, I'm like 106 is down to 103. What was it, 104 today? I'm like, oh, crap. Got to make a decision here. And it's like, you know what? Set the stop. Let it go. Like, don't watch it. Focus on other things because you got better trades and let it go. Really that simple. VALE, this was another one that was down at one point where it's like, ooh. Popped right back. Looking good. Again, this is the problem. Here's the difference between VALE and Nucor, right? This is its pullback versus Nucor. Okay. This is what it is. TCJ. I still think this is a big head and shoulders pattern, but it doesn't mean you can't bounce. Uranium in general, I'm just like, it's like precious metals to me at this point. I like it, but I don't want to own it. It's like, there's just way better ideas. And watch, this will pop 10%. So I'm like, oh, you totally missed that move. Yeah, probably did. But the other stuff that we're playing probably went much higher. We'll just kind of ignore that part because that's what I'm actually focused on. That's what people do. They focus on the details that matter to them. I mean, it's whatever. It's like, you know, it's like when the cops show up to a crime scene and everyone's just explaining the details from their perspective. And the cops are like, how do we have 10 different freaking stories? Well, it's your interpretation of what's going on. Arrow, I mean, we talk about, this is a great copper company. I mean, it's probably due to bounce. You want to play the game? You want to play the bounce? I think you've got it, and we've identified the areas. We said the 881, nice little area to get interested. Yeah, I mean, you see here my like question and my kind of, you know, the way I found like question, like, yeah, buy it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm in the material sector too, playing this game where I've got some and then I've got some tech. We'll see. And again, if the market goes higher, remember, it rotates around. Like, it'll go into tech one day and then it'll go into this and then it'll go, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where the money sloshes around. It's not going to be only tech that go higher, right? It's not going to be only the Qs. It should be the SPY. It should be the Dow. It should be the IWM. Keep that in mind. Next on the, oh, okay, here we go. Added a little mosaic today. Don't know how much lower it goes. Hope it doesn't go lower. Talked about it. You know, Drew was telling me about this thing. I'm like, man, maybe it gets to 43. And I was like, ooh, maybe not. You're just, the market's bottomed. You better be careful. And now if you look back on it, you can see there's congestion zones here. The volume at price, look at this. Look at this big ass node coming from left to right. Barrel. You got it here in the 44, 45 area. Not surprised it bounced. Now it pulls back. Freak out. No. You buy and you tighten your stop up. Can I say it any simpler? Oh, but Dan, 48 is way far from 45. Well, then buy just a little bit. I mean, you want to buy 100 shares and you buy 10. Because this is the biggest problem with bottoming, as we hopefully you're realizing this, is it's not perfect. You get retest, you get higher lows, you get lower lows sometimes, and then rally backs. You get W's, you get head and shoulders, you get all sorts of fun little games. That's why we don't chase, but we identify the names and the areas we like. CF. I mean, put this in your same ag pipe and smoke it. Same thing. Like it down here. I just don't know if I would chase it at this point. Let's get into tech, because this is where it gets really interesting. People are like, you are covering your AMD short. Well, what did I say? Go watch the videos from when we got in. I said, somewhere in this blue zone, I'm going to get out. Again, the more it's up, the less I'm short. Hopefully people have noticed that. I didn't just stay 100% short, because again, it's like a swing trade. There's ups and downs and ups and up, you know, to get to point A to point B is not a straight line. Now we're in here. I don't want to short it anymore. Well, what if it goes lower? Well, I guess it goes lower. The easy money, we talked about all the do you want the easy money, or do you want to go the one-off? You want to play the derivative, the one-off here? The one-off here is to stay short and get lucky and hope the market continues to get pounded. That's not what we do. Please, if I ever seem like that, come to the Discord room and slap me in the face. Go, I watched this video and said you weren't going to do this, and then you did. What are you doing? All right, it's probably something emotional, probably me being stupid. I'm not immune to stupidity. It's pretty, what's the best word? There's no vaccine for stupidity, and there's also a lot of it floating around. So it's very communicable, if that's the best way to describe it. Even everybody on the board, we will all be stupid at some point. It's just a matter of how fast we figure it out. And do you have someone around to help hold you accountable other than your account balance? Trust me, I can be brutal. And I'm also brutal myself, because I have to be. Like, the market's trying to take my money. It's not dishing it out. Apple covered it today. I mean, I probably should have covered it lower. It's been a tough one in the sense that I just kept a little on, because I'm like, I gotta see the bottom. Where is that? Okay, made a higher low. I'm out. Again, this is holding up really well. Like, come on, Bob. It's holding up. Now watch, it'll come right back, and I'll be like, oh, I filled the gap. Damn it. Who knows? We started shorting up here. We shorted post earnings in April when it ran up to 170 after hours. I think it was this day or whatever. It ran up to 170. It was this day. And it got some after hours and just held it. More it was down. We talked about popping back, adding back, and then you're gone. It's done. Trade's over. Let's get into meta, because we are long this. We were like, what are you long? What are you doing? What are you buying tech? Well, channel low. Again, we're playing the probabilities. How simple is this? Channel low. Nice up volume. Look at the backfill. I said this to in the private room. I was just talking about this with my dad, because he called me up and he goes, "You're long meta, right?" Man, everybody hates that. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, I was showing him, like, hey, check out the volume on this pullback. Look at this big down red bar yesterday, and look at the volume. Nothing. I don't trust it. Meaning, I don't trust the pullback being deep. Let's throw in SMH because we went long Soxel today. It's the triple levered ETF. What are you doing, Dan? How are you getting long? You're crazy. No, look at this thing. It's gotten absolutely blasted. I don't think that's the channel anymore. Let me update it. Let me do some updating. Again, I don't trade on this computer. People know me. This computer is just for recording only. Q charts, or eSignal, I don't save it to this computer because my traditional computer has 8. Not traditional. The one I use has 8 screens. Trying to get it to fit all back every time onto the screen is incredibly annoying. Okay, so here we go. SMH. Gap. Retest. Now, again, the only reason I brought this up is someone in the Discord room was like, what do you think? You know, I'm shorting semiconductors. I'm like, hold the phone. Or put the phone down. We got to look at this. And I was like, oh my God. Look at the green. Look at the capitulation day. More volume. Green days are up. Now you're backfilling. You're telling me I can get this thing, I mean, 200. We were getting in this like the 204, 205. I mean, I can get this within 2% of the lows. Check, please. Yes, we'll get it. Because, again, I'm not thinking a rally back to 300 plus. Please don't ever get that twisted. This is a trade. What's the upside? There's a lot of ways to paint this. Let's clear this out because this is good for you guys to see. I'm gonna paint the trade for you on this computer for this trade. Here's my upside somewhere in the vicinity of the 100-day channel and the lower channel bound, which 234, 240s, 250s, maybe. I don't know. What would that do to the Soxel, you say? Well, let's go to the videotape. Remember, we don't look at this to trade off of other than the potential. Last spike, you went from 27 up to 46. Not a bad move. Here's a 17 up to 27. I don't know. Here you go. Here's a that was a gangbanger. Here's another one. 33 up to 52. I don't mind making 30 or 40% on this real quick. I mean, could it go from 13 to 20? I think so. It's really that simple. It's not rocket science. So that's the trade. You got it. You're in it. You're with me. Cool. Roblox. Oh, good old Roblox. Said this is the bottom. Here's your lower high. And now we're rallying. Look at this volume, little blow off day. That candle was slightly an anomaly, but we're pulling back. And here you go. I think, honestly, a lot of any of these monster green anomaly days that are tight, if you're coming off the lows, to me, are short covering rallies. They're shorting into bad market conditions, meaning they're literally unwinding their shorts as the market's selling off. And this is why you get a green candle that's pretty tight. That's my opinion of it. Now, again, I don't know for sure anything. That's just my best educated guess. And it makes sense, right? It would make total sense that if the market was tanking on 624, let's go look, just curious, 624, no, wrong, see, whatever. Anyway, point being, it did have an anomaly bar, tightened up, and now it's pulled back. It still looks bullish, again, because I don't know who's fighting the battle up there. I don't know if there was an upgrade. I don't know a lot of the things. I'm not trading it, but I know some people are. Congrats. I got a lot of questions about shorting Tesla today. And I was like, ooh, it's probably time to go long. You held like this 670 area, which I thought was possible. Nice pop. Nice work. Congrats. I mean, again, you can't be bearish all the time. I say this all the time. Like, it is a bear market, but it doesn't go down all the time. You have to be anticipating when the bigger up moves are coming. End of quarter, seasonality, all sorts of little things. Again, I just hate having this conversation with people who don't know the past. It's like me walking into your job. You've been doing it for 20 years, and you're like, and I go, why don't you do this? And you're like, well, this is why we don't do this. We have 17 standard protocols for why we do it this way. Well, I want to do it this way. Okay, go right ahead. Have fun. Have good luck. And you fail. Oh, then you get mad at me. You get mad at yourself, honestly. I'm just the mirror. Remember that. Yeah, EXPI. Here we go. Fundamentals. The fundamentals, Dan. Buy uranium. The fundamentals are strong. Bye-bye. No, I mean, EXP, we're dominating new brokerages, taking people in, more like not over, feel like you could buy it down here. Said that in 11 to 12 range. We'll see what happens. UTHR, been on top of this one. Again, say it every day. If you are up, you know, here was the double bottom, the volume capitulation. Here's your another next double bottom. This run up said, please take profit. Pulled back to the 20-day and the old highs. Not, I mean, again, stuff is, you see how I'm trying to like, it seems so easy after the fact. Well, there's no damn difference in identifying it if you can see it line up. Like these formations are just over and over and over and over, and over again. Sorry to rant. Pull back. Now what? I said, the more you're up, the less you own. You bought down here in the 150s, you should probably be layering out on every pop. But then it's going to 300. I don't know that. You don't know that. Stop pulling numbers out of your, you know what. Trade it. You got to trade it. The easy money is over. I mean, this is not the time to buy. Just like it was probably not the time to sell down here. Just reverse the order and be smart. Oh, oil. You are making my TLT. Let me confirm my TLT. Yes, TLT look good. What do we say today in the Discord room? People are always like, oh, I don't know if you're going to get the 20-day. I'm like, at least the 50-day. And then the more is holding up. I'm like, you got to get the 20-day. Eric, I think, nailed this one perfectly. I didn't short more oil because I'm buying tech. I mean, I have to pick my poisons at this point. I've got minimal shorts in it. But again, to me, the rising tide could hold oil up. Could be wrong. I'm not saying it can't go lower. I'm saying absolutely could go lower. It's just how fast does it go lower versus how fast do other things move up? That's kind of the opportunity cost. There's not a wrong trade here. I'm not saying you're wrong to short oil. I think it's just, what do you want to focus on? Once I started buying tech, I'm like, oh, I got my eye on tech. Gosh darn it, I can't watch it all. It's really that simple, okay? I like it. Love it, actually. XOP. What did we talk about, right? Bouncing back, the 100-day, the channel, bam! Look at that. Congrats. Again, I mean, got a minuscule amount of drip that I could care less about, and it's going to work. If we get back down to the range lows and oil holds up, I will close it all out or sell deep in the money covered calls. Talked about that in the room. I just remember, I can only do so many things. Can't teach everybody, watch the board, manage my own trades, manage my real estate business, take care of my wife who's not feeling great, and trade every sector of the market. However, I can recommend, I don't even say recommend, I can offer insight of what I think might happen. And congrats if you did it. I know a few of you guys and folks did it, and I feel great that you did it because it feels like I'm winning when you're winning. That's how it felt. ExxonMobil, I really thought that gap would fill. Close enough for government work. 2-day range, fail, boom, gone. Now again, keep in mind, what have we seen with these big red candles? You've seen some like inside days the following. Please don't chase. I say it over. Please don't chase. Please don't chase. How about this? Well, I'll say it one more time. Please don't chase. UNG. How do we know oil is going to tank? Well, because natural gas peaked. Folks talked about this. I mean, it's like getting these same arguments with these folks. Just this one, this, and this. And I'm like, God dang it. Please just be evidence based. Can we talk? It's like talking. Now, again, this is not meant to be sexist. It's like a bunch of gossiping women, even men, because men do this. It's depending on what talk it. I've seen fly fishing guides gossip like little kids, basically complaining about their clients. It's like a bunch of teenagers, bunch of adult women, men, whatever, sitting around gossiping about opinions. Like, I don't want to have that conversation. Show me some evidence of something that I'm missing. Show me something that I am not seeing that is evidence-based. Because your opinion, to me, doesn't matter. Just like, ultimately, I guess maybe my opinion does matter to you, but again, if my opinion, hopefully you can see, is based on evidence. It's not just based on me being like, I think this is going to happen. No, I know this should. Should is the key word. Should happen. That's a totally different thing. Do you know why something should happen? Have you studied the markets? Do you study seasonality? Do you study volume price analysis? Have you watched the market for 20 years? If you can't answer those questions with a yes, maybe you should more listen and study. I would say study versus talk. PXD, we talked about bounce here, bounce. EQT, nice little bounce from, what is it, the 100-day? Yep. Again, I don't really want to short the XOP. Just be careful because I think it can hold up if the market rallies. Oil can drop and these names can rally because why? They're part of the S&P 500, part of the IWM. They're part of market indices, so they have pressure to lift. Doesn't mean they're going to go ripping back to the highs. It just means they might not drop. All right. Hope you have a great day. I'm having a great day. Love you guys. I will talk to everybody soon. Stop by the Discord room. Please slap a like on this and share this with your friends if you think they are the type of people that could benefit from it. I don't need more gamblers in the Discord room. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.